keep your words, and in the way you call my name, when you promise that I can't do anything. You're my best friend, you're my lover. Without you, no one else would do. Through thick and thin, I know we'll make it true. Yes, I wanna build my whole world around you. So I promise you forever and for always. Girl, you are my sunshine, baby. Yeah, I want me all of me. All of me, all of me. See, I will love you forever. Yeah, I want me all of me. All of me, all of me. I will love you forever. My baby, you are my sunshine, my love of my essence. There's no one like you. My baby, you are my sunshine, my love of my essence. There's no one like you. You are me, all of me, already alive. See, I will love you forever. I promise to always love you, baby. I will love you forever. And there's no one that comes close. I will love you forevermore. Ever and ever and evermore. I will love you forever. 'Cause you are my baby, my sunshine. I will love you forever. And when there's nothing more to say, I will love you forever. Forever and ever and ever and ever. I will love you forever. Like an angel in the morning, shooting star across the night. The most beautiful girl I've seen in all my life. Every second spent with you, it's like a day that starts brand new. Girl, I'm so amazed at all the things you do. Yes, I wanna build my whole world around you. So I promise you forever and for always. And girl, you are my sunshine, baby. Don't you go away. Yeah, I want me all of me. Already alive. I will love you forever. Yeah, I want me all of me. Already alive. I will love you forever. I hear music in your words and in the way you call my name. When you promise that I can't do anything. You're my best friend, you're my lover. Without you, no one else would do. Thinking I know we'll make it through. Yes, I wanna build my whole world around you. So I promise you forever and always. Girl, you are my sunshine, baby. Yeah, I want me all of me. Already alive. See, I will love you forever. love you forevermore. Forever and ever and evermore. I will love you forever. 'Cause you are my baby, my sunshine. I will love you forever. And when there's nothing more to say, I will love you forever. Forever and ever and ever. I will love you forever. All right, good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining tonight. We'll continue in this discussion, anatomy of relationship and marriage. And today we are discussing the problem. Today we are discussing the problem. Today we are discussing the problem. The youth of the generation are faced with the great challenge of choosing a life partner. Many have followed practices and not principles, and this has led to a situation where you have a high rate of divorce and paternity fraud in many marriages. So the goal of this program is to help everyone that will be part of this to get it right in this critical area of their lives. You will hear some uncommon ideas about marriage in this series, but please take note that these are based on research, they are based on statistics, they are based on science, they are based on scriptures. But please note that these are based on research and they will help you to align with the current reality of our time. So, listen with open mind, but also remember to go back and check some of the thoughts that have been shared in order to see if these things are so. Be a Berean Christian who go back to check to be sure that nobody has lied to them. To be sure that nobody has lied to them. Be a Berean Christian who go back to check to see if those things are so. So we'll be starting today as we discuss the problem. We'll be starting today as we discuss the problem. Now, it's been said that Nigeria ranked among the second highest paternity fraud in the world. Nigeria ranked the second highest paternity fraud in the world. This is the problem. In Nigeria, according to available data, at least 4 out of 10 men are not the biological father of their children. Lagos-based DNA expert confirmed that many men do not know that they're not the biological father of their child. One expert noted that currently, the situation in Nigeria is quite high and majority of firstborn are affected. According to the American Association of Blood Bank globally, a third of all men are not the actual father of their presumed children. Globally, a third. In Nigeria, 40%. In 40% of marriages, the firstborn is usually not owned by the husband of the woman. There was one man called Mr. Shogunle. He said, "My life has crumbled, leaving me nothing to me now than a pack of trash. It will have been better for me not to be born than to face such miserable and uncanny situation." These were the words of Mr. Shogunle, who recently discovered that 4 boys whom he witnessed their birth
and cater for as a loving father will be, after all, not his biological children. This startling discovery has not only betrayed the trust and confidence he had for his wife in 12 years of marriage, Betty, the wife, it has also stolen the happy atmosphere in the family. So, this is a big challenge in Lagos and in Nigeria and the world in general. Why are we having high rate of divorce and paternity fraud? These are the questions we need to answer. And DNA is revealing this so well. In fact, the fact that a lot of people are traveling abroad and therefore have to do DNA tests so that the embassy can confirm that the children they are going with is indeed their children, has made it compulsory for them to do DNA tests. And this is revealing a lot about what's happening in society. Remember, today we are discussing problem in marriages. Why is paternity fraud high? Why? Recent trend in sexual health, especially in Nigeria, suggests that unprotected sex and multiple partner relationships are a common occurrence. Another use is poor family planning among women. Most first-born pregnancy are still unplanned, it says. Someone said it's a complex mix of reasons. It might be tied to very strong cultural inclination towards production and lineage activity. The fact that many people in our country are finding themselves in this situation is really alarming. Today, we are discussing paternity fraud and divorce, and focusing a lot on divorce and the cause of divorce in many homes. The session today is full of statistics that will drive home the point around why divorce rate is now growing rapidly in our world. Divorce is becoming more and more common in this day and age. It is not unusual to see headlines of our favorite celebrity couples throwing in the towel in their marriages and divorce story on our social media feed, news network, and TV. We have taken a closer look at divorce rate by country across the globe, and it appears that overall marriages are becoming less popular, with divorce and separation being on the rise. In 1960, statistics show that there are 8 people getting married per 1,000 of the population in the world. 8 people per 1,000. And in this same year, the divorce rate is about 1 out of the 8. 1 out of the 8. That means 1 person divorced per 1,000 people. This simply means that in 1960, every 8 marriages, for every 8 marriages, there's only one divorce, which means about 12.5% of total marriages contracted in the world divorce. However, this rate of divorce has significantly increased over time. One of the reasons is because many people don't take knowledge about relationship and marriage seriously. Even though there's so much information available, but what people try to spend their time on are the non-essentials. Now, fast forward to 2022. There are 4.86 people, about 5 people, getting married per 1,000. It used to be 8 in 1960. Now it's about 5. Getting married per 1,000 of the population. And out of the 5 or 4.8, 2 of them, like half, almost half, divorce. This simply means for every 5 marriages, there are 2 divorces. For every 5 marriages, there are 2 divorces. This is about 48% of the total marriages contracted in the world. 48% of total marriages contracted in the world. %48. I don't know if we are paying attention to this. It doesn't appear we are really paying attention to this. And the reason why I say it doesn't appear is because the way people are eager and rushing to get married without having an understanding of the implication of their actions. Because some people don't seem to understand the commitment required. The commitment required. And because they don't know the commitment required, they're just going. This showed that the global rate of divorce has increased from about 12% in 1960 to about 48% in 2022. This comes to about 251% increase in the rate of divorce in the last 40 years. The rate of divorce increased from 12% in 1960 to 26% in 1980 to 41% in 2000 and to 48% in 2022. So you can see a progression of increase. The country with the highest rate of divorce by 1,000 in the world is Russia. 4.7 out of 1,000 people divorced in Russia. Another country called Guam, 4.2. Moldova, 3.7. Belarus, 3.4. The countries with the lowest rate of divorce include Greece, Tajikistan, just 1. in 1,000. Look at an interesting thing I found out. Rate of divorce by religion. And I want your contribution to this. Rate of divorce by religion. The research shows that Protestants, gospel preachers, born again, tongue speaking, who claim to know the Bible more, have the highest rate of divorce. 34% is the rate of divorce among Christians in the world. 34%. The rate of divorce amongst Christians in the world. Muslim, rate of divorce among Muslim, 31%. 31. Christian, born again Christian, Protestant, 34%. 31% rate of divorce among Muslim. Among Jews, 30%. Among Catholics, 21%. Interesting. Among Buddhists, 10%. It might interest you to know that the rate of divorce in the world is lowest among Hindu. Rate of divorce among Hindu is 1%. Protestant, 34. Muslim, 31. Jews, 30. Catholic, 21. Buddhist, 10. Hindus, 1. It appeared to me there is something these guys know, and there is something these guys do that make them to stay together for a longer time than so-called born-again Christian today. Hindu, 1%. Interesting. Buddhist, 10%. So for Christians, there are almost 4 marriages resulting in divorce out of every 10, but only 1 marriage resulting in divorce out of every 100 for Hindus, 1 out of every 10 for Buddhists. Let's look at the average length of marriages in different countries of the world. The country with highest length of marriage is Ecuador and Germany, 14.9 years, highest length of marriage. Germany and Ecuador, 14.9 years. This is followed by New Zealand, 13.5 years. England, 12.4. Australia, 12.3. Canada, 12 years. Sweden, 11 years. Singapore, 10 years. US, 8 years. This research also covered the reason why people get divorced. The reason why people get divorced. So what is the reason why people get divorced? The research revealed that 73% of divorce is caused by lack of commitment. Not being available. He's not committed to the marriage. Lack of commitment, 73% believe. Lack of commitment. 73% of divorced marriages, one of the reasons is because of lack of commitment. 56% said excessive argument. excessive argument. 55% said it's because of infidelity. 55% said it's infidelity that caused divorce. 46% said it's because they married too young. Too young. And that happened a lot, actually. People married maybe as in their late teens or early 20s. And by the time they are in their 30s, late 30s, early 40s, they want to get out. Because they realize that, look, I'm not supposed to be in this relationship in the first place. 45% say it's because of unrealistic expectation. Unrealistic expectation. 44% said it's caused by lack of equality in the relationship. One person is the boss over the other. Lack of relationship, lack of equality in the relationship. Then 41% said lack of preparation for marriage. Do you know that domestic violence is 25%? Domestic violence is 25%. People that are topping the list are infidelity, lack of commitment, excessive argument. Those are more than 50%. After taking a closer look at divorce rate of countries across the globe, marriage is becoming less and less popular. Conclusion. On the contrary, divorce continues to rise each year. So what is causing wedded couples to give up their marriage? Every year, World Health Organization, such as UN, World Organization such as UN, records global divorce rate. According to the data, the marriage and divorce statistics are changing significantly due to several reasons. And I've mentioned some of them already. Lack of commitment, excessive argument, infidelity, marrying too young, and the like. The reasons above take a toll on marriages, and this doesn't include other factors that cause couples to give up and end their lifelong covenant. Let's look at Russia. Russia has 145 million people, making it a large country with booming population. Although Russia may seem like a thriving country, poverty is considered high in the nation. According to statisticians, 1/3 of Russia, 1/3 of Russia get divorced because of no money. And the second popular reason is because lack of understanding between the spouses. Now, let's come home to Nigeria. A research in Nigeria revealed top 10 reasons for divorce and separation in Nigeria. Top 10 reasons. Number 1, lack of preparation. This was a research done in Nigeria. Lack of preparation. This reason for a divorce is not indigenous to Nigeria. It happens everywhere, all around the world. Young people think they are prepared for everything when their bodies reach physical maturity, but their mind are still very infantile, very infant. This is why they often tend to get married by impulse. Many marry totally unprepared. In fact, you can survive in marriage if you're unprepared many years ago, in the olden days, in the 60s. In today's world, it will be difficult for such marriage to survive. Very difficult. Why? There's so much to learn. Knowledge is increasing. There's so much to learn. We're going to be discussing preparation, maybe in 2 weeks. Preparation. There's so much to learn. So much. So much to learn. So much to learn. So much to learn. Lack of emotional, psychological, or even intellectual preparation before getting married is one of the most common reasons why marriages fail in Nigeria. Many don't have an understanding of their obligations, of their responsibility, understanding of how to care. And for some, they cannot even communicate. And because of lack of communication, it creates a big problem. In fact, in another research done by someone else in Nigeria, he said, top in Nigeria is communication. Top is communication. Top is communication. Top on the list is communication. So, and I'm not talking about talking. Talking is not communication. For you to be said to be communicating, the person you are talking to must have a good understanding of what you are saying. And when someone is talking to you, you also know what to do to have a good understanding. And you both communicate. And also, some are not emotionally intelligent at all. Some are very emotionally unintelligent. So they will say anything to their wife. Maybe the lady have just finished cooking. He has spent time, energy, money, effort to cook. And maybe you make a little mistake, maybe little salt here and there, little this, little that. And then the way the guy will address it or talk about it, wow. They are not even sensitive to the fact that this lady works like you, yet you still find time to be able to cook. They just talk to her as if it's not human being, just because he made a mistake. And so when they are angry like this, emotionally unintelligent. Reason number 2, lack of effective courtship. This is a research from Nigeria. Number 1, lack of preparation. Number 2, lack of effective courtship. Remember I said, if you've been following us for a while, that a successful courtship is not the one that leads to marriage. A successful courtship is the one that achieves the goal of what courtship should do. Courtship will let you know whether you should go ahead or not. It's not supposed to lead to marriage. If it leads to marriage, great. If it doesn't lead to marriage, great. It's not supposed to lead to marriage. If it leads to, that's good. But it doesn't lead to, as he achieves his objective of letting you audit before you commit. Courtship creates an avenue for you to audit before you commit. Audit the party or the person you want to marry before you commit to that relationship. Audit before you commit. Audit before you commit. Audit before you commit. If you do not audit and you commit, that might be a dangerous path. If you do not audit and you commit, that might be a dangerous path. So courtship should help you audit. Does it look like someone I want to spend the rest of my life with? Am I okay with the character, the behavior? This is so important. Young people don't give themselves enough time to get to know each other before they get married. They simply meet, feel the attraction, and decide they are in love. Without the period of dating and courting, they have no chance of getting to know each other, to know each other's character, to know each other's habit, to understand each other's action, to know each other's view of life, worldview, and philosophy. There is no time for that. That's a waste of time. Okay, well done. Go ahead. No time spent. In fact, you know, we discussed last week sex. When sex gets involved, you won't even know yourself again. The only thing you'll be feeling for each other is emotion. Reminding yourself or remembering of your experience together. You becloud everything. You pretty much cover up everything. You don't even allow yourself to be able to see anything at all again when sex comes in. During dating or during courtship. Number 3, lack of compatibility. The physical draw is often treated as love. It is one of the biggest mistakes young people make when they want to get married. Chemistry. Biggest mistake young spouses tend to make. They discover that their nature, intellect, emotion, and habit are incompatible with the person they got married to. And they are only getting to know this after they got married. And that was because they never had an effective courtship. By the time they got married, the time for those passion for each other is over. Now reality dawned on them. Ladies, if this guy is chasing you before he got married, he won't chase you like that after he got married. Though. He will chase you because he's looking to get you. He's a hunter. When he has gotten what he's looking for, why should he be chasing again? Why should he be hunting again? This is the way most guys think. So you will definitely see a marked difference between the way he relates with you in terms of his love, display of love, and when he get married. Because when he get married, he has caught the fish they have been chasing. So he won't be able to do all that he used to do. Why? The reason is simple. He's no more looking for what he was looking for before. Lack of compatibility, which could not be dictated during courtship because of undue intimacy. Number 4, lack of openness. Lack of openness. We all want to look better. Than we are in the eyes of our sweethearts. So often or quite often, people delude their partner to force them into marriage or something like that. Men, for example, tell girls tales about their wealth and girls conceal truth about their previous relationship so as not to lose the man. All this leads to collapse of trust. All this leads to collapse of trust and consequently the collapse of the marriage. Number one, lack of preparation. Number two, lack of compatibility. Number two, lack of effective coaching. Number three, lack of compatibility. Number four, lack of openness. Number five, remember we are discussing based on research done in Nigeria, what do people perceive as the cause of the separation or divorce? Number five, mismatch of age between the man and the wife. A man of 40 who marry a girl of 23 is not very much uncommon in our society. However, he should keep in mind that soon he will be aging. He will be an aging man, while she will be a woman in the bloom of her beauty and her prime. The same is about a man of, say, 30 who marry a woman of 40. She has only a couple of years to be able to conceive. Mismatch of age. Please note, this is the outcome of a research done in Nigeria, in a university in Nigeria. Number one, lack of preparation. Number two, cause of divorce and separation, lack of effective courtship. Number three, lack of compatibility. Number four, lack of openness. Number five, mismatch of age. Number six, intellectual mismatch. This is a key factor for a strong and happy marriage. In this light, it's also clear that a crude mismatch in the interest, intellectual development, and education has turned out to be one of the most common causes of divorce in Nigeria. Intellectual mismatch. One person is highly educated, the other person is not so educated. The person that is highly educated has superiority complex. The person that is less educated have inferiority complex. Complex meets complex, leading to big problem. Intellectual mismatch. Number seven is infertility. Nigerians have a very special attitude towards children. A marriage that stays childless for more than 2 years is often treated with anxiety. Women who have no children in marriages are often blamed for being infertile, even if the problem is in their men. It can be a very big problem in our society. This is one of the reasons why people separate or divorce in Nigeria. The fact that children not coming. Number 8, broken expectation. People rarely realize that their expectations are their own problem, and nobody is obliged to fulfill them. However, some people often get married expecting something particular from their partners. Of course, when nothing like this happens, the marriage collapses. Number 9, infidelity. 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 Being married to somebody means being tied to this somebody and sharing everything with the person. The spousal infidelity is one of the most common causes of divorce in many countries around the world, and not only in Nigeria. It's very hard for people to forgive and forget pain caused by a cheating partner. So the topmost, and these are arranged from the least to the greatest. The topmost is lack of communication. Talking to each other is vital in marriage. Discussing complicated issues is vital. Finding mutual point of view is vital. Bridging the way of mutual point of view in the way you bring up children is vital. In the way the home is run is vital. Mutual agreement in the household spending is vital. Small problems that are kept silent tend to grow into bigger and finally huge problems. And finally, huge problem. And finally, huge problem. Because of what? Lack of communication. In fact, communication is the biggest, because majority of problems can be solved by finding time to talk. You know, I heard of a story of a couple who were fighting. As in they were, you know, they fight, so they are not greeting themselves. They are sleeping on the same bed, living in the same house, but they don't greet themselves. That time, there was no phone. So they would write a note. Write a note on the side, write a note for the other party. So one day, the husband wanted to, I think he had an interview, but it was in the afternoon and he needed to sleep. He needed to wake up early, rather. And the wife would typically wake up before him. And I think because the husband had issue with his job, that's why they were even having fighting. And see what happened. So when the man was sleeping, he wrote there on the bedside for the wife, "Wake me up by 5 a.m. tomorrow, I have an interview." The wife, when the wife woke up, the wife wrote, "Wake up." He wrote it on the paper and put it beside him. "Wake up," he wrote on the paper. The man slept till 7 a.m. Oh my God. The man slept till 7 a.m. And by 7 a.m., he woke up and told the wife, "Why didn't you wake me up?" "Ah, you wrote down I should wake you up now. And I wrote there, wake up. I even wrote it big, capital letter, bold. But you didn't wake up." Communication, communication, communication. We come to the order of the session tonight. Let me hear from you about the problems. I started by talking about paternity fraud, the level of paternity fraud in Nigeria, and round up with divorce. Let me hear from you. Favor. What did you learn tonight? Atasia favor.
Study session. Very, very eye-opening. Listening closely, like did that contribute since 1960, and it's quite alarming. Like it's even skyrocketing every single year. Okay, well, but what really stood out for me was some of the reasons for divorce, and what I can really I really agree to all of them, but like what kept ringing in my mind was that lack of preparation.
Yeah.
Because like Nigerians, I noticed that like we like to focus more on the wedding and not the marriage. That's what I just noticed. Like people do not spend time on themselves. Like they just see it as, oh, I'm already 27. I should get married. But like what value, like what knowledge have you acquired? Just like as if you want to become a doctor, you need knowledge. You can't just go and start meeting patients and then prescribing drugs and you just kill them. But people don't view it like that. They just think by default that they'll be good partners. I don't ready, I beg, I don't the old things like that. But preparation is what is very, very important, because like when you even prepare during the course of preparation, you understand things about communication and all of those things, but you don't dwell on it. So for me, it really, really stood out, and it's something I would not let slide in my own life. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
All right, thank you, Choma.
Hello, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
My line was actually breaking, so I wasn't really hearing it. But what I actually learned, and I think what is usually common, is that communication part. The communication part is that when you try to tell someone, the way you think they will understand is different from their own perspective. You understand? Because there was one relationship my elder sister was, and she was always complaining that she would tell the guy this thing, and the guy would be saying another thing. I was like, I don't understand. I'm telling you something, you'll be telling me. Maybe she's talking about B, the guy will talk about X, or talking about Y. So it was a bad communication from that part. So she had to just let go of the relationship, and she told me that she can't continue because of the relationship is not going too well. And then looking at the fact if we talk about the fact from that infidelity, I think it depends on the courtship level. I think it depends on the courtship. Though if you're in a courtship, it's possible for you not to know the person, no matter how long that you've been with the person. I mean, it's possible for you not to know someone that long. But then it now depends on the person in particular. For me, I have a question for this courtship, in this courtship aspect. Now, this courtship aspect, there's the fact that, how do I put it? Okay, let's say someone is, I'm looking for a word to use for that one. Someone is, someone got into a relationship for a long period of time.
Yeah.
Let's say 7 years at that. Then we get to the fact, because they're always saying that when it comes to the times of marriage, women are more wiser. I mean, I don't understand that one. That women are more wiser when it comes to relationship. Now, we've been in a relationship. I have a friend that was in a relationship for this guy for 7 years. And when the guy wanted to propose, she told the guy that she can't accept it because there are some things that she had seen that she don't think she can be able to cope with it if the guy gets married to her. So it wasn't actually easy because the guy was like, he was emotionally unstable. He was like, where does he want to start from? The guy was actually more matured in age. So that was why I think the problem was. The guy was more mature. The guy was more matured in age than her.
What's the gap?
8 years.
Okay.
8 years. So the girl was that like,
why did the lady stay for so long now? You would
exactly.
have
That's the thing. She was like, she was thinking that she could, you know, try to manage it and all that. But I think she listened to some people on relationship talk and all that. So that was why she had to. Even for her, it wasn't easy. At that point, it wasn't, because it was like they've been together for so long. But then they had to cut it off. Now, my own point is that for her, it took her a very long time for her to realize it at that point. Now, what if she doesn't realize that thing and she gets into the relationship and eventually she got married? She got married and she now decides to divorce. And she now decides to divorce. What will you say that she didn't identify the problem on time, or what? I don't understand.
Yes, now that's it now. So that's why the reason why I'm taking time to do this program and recording and keeping it online is to be able to make it available to people. So when there's someone I'm going to see tomorrow now, is planning to get married before the end of this year. And what I intend to do is make this thing available and tell you guys should go and listen to this and take a decision. Don't just rush into these things. Because if you rush in, you rush out. So the challenge is that many people don't even know the information that is required. They don't know. So what do I need to know? So that's why I said I have to find a way of putting all this together from different authors and sources for people to be able to say, okay, I can have a place where you can have a 20 hours seminar on what do I really, so that by the end of the day, you'll be able to take informed decision. You're not doing guesswork. So for that lady, the truth is that he didn't understand the fact that he needed to really plan and know exactly what he was going to do before getting it. And for me, that does not even make sense. Why would you want to go through? How on earth will you want to embark on a journey like this and you are not prepared for it? If you listen to a lot of seminars that give you an idea of the implication of what you are getting into, maybe that will make you to prepare for it. So you are very correct. The person did not prepare adequately. And of course, if you rush in, unfortunately, we also rush out. Unfortunately, we also rush out. All right, the favored one. I can't hear you at all. Your network is very bad.
I really had really enjoyed. Hello, sir.
Yes.
Okay, I was saying that it's centered on communication, and for me, communication is actually, if you're communicating and you can't hear each other, things, very minimal things, then that will be an issue, generally. But again, I wanted to mention something else. So one of the challenges too that people may face or may go through is the fact that just like what she mentioned now, where she said for like 7 years, 7 years is a very long time. So if you look at it, people will have been involved, maybe families, people. And so even when the person probably in the courtship probably sees that, I don't think this person is actually okay for me, the next thing is, what will people say? So a typical example is having dated somebody, presented the person to everybody, everybody has seen that person. That's the person everybody has seen you with. And then you get to a point where you want to say, I'm calling off this courtship. What happens is the first thing you first think in your head is, you say something is wrong. Is this person a Gandhi or what? Who do you want to bring? Where are you coming from? Or which people are pressing the button? So I think sometimes, again, the challenge people have generally will be the fact that, how do I call off this thing where everybody is already saying, oh, this is a match from heaven, confirmations are coming. Even some people go as far as getting pastoral confirmations saying this is it. And maybe one of the parties is not convinced. But because now it's something that everybody is involved, the person just goes ahead with it. So I don't know. How would somebody handle such a thing if it was now? For me, mistakes made.
Thank you. You know, one of the skills we must learn in life as human is to learn to say no. Do you know that being able to say no is a sign of maturity? We are yes people. People don't want to hurt other people's feelings. And because they don't want to hurt other people's feelings, they end up hurting their own. This is a lifetime decision we are talking about here. If you are going to take a lifetime decision, and you're going to allow sentiment to influence that decision, that for me is a sign that that person is a child. It's not an adult yet. It's a child. It's not an adult yet. If he is an adult, if he is not a child, I tell you, he will have learned how to say no. No. And that's one thing we must teach our children, to learn to be able to say no. It takes a lot of awareness to say no. So if I'm going to go into a lifetime relationship, and I'm going to use sentiment, something is wrong, go. Something is wrong. Something is wrong. Something is wrong because that means I probably don't have an idea of the implication of what I'm going into. Because sincerely, if I actually have an idea of the implication of saying yes to it, when I really and truly meant no, if I have an idea of the implication, I won't dare do it. So my take is, as human, we must learn to say no. We must learn to say no. So what you are saying, when you say, oh, people are aware, and people are aware, and favor, that person is just saying, is just unable to say no. He has not learned to say no. And you're going to please everybody but yourself. And at the end of the day, it's going to be a regret. I don't know if I answer your question.
Yes, sir. But sir, I wanted to ask, like, in a case where even an authority, maybe a spiritual authority, like somebody you look up to. I know there was a topic we had where we talked about authority. And then this is probably
what was the issue with the spiritual authority?
So the spiritual authority saying, yes, this is it.
Is it the spiritual authority that is getting married? That spiritual authority is overstepping its boundary. Sincerely. And for me, that's slavery. It's your life. It's your decision. If anybody forces you to marry and you regret it, you will be blaming the person for it. That spiritual authority is unwise if he's forcing people on each other and saying you must marry the person. Anyway, I know a lot of things happen in Nigeria. But for me, that's a sign that that person should not even be a spiritual authority in the first place. Because this is my life. This is a decision of my life. It should be my decision. You shouldn't. All you can say is, these are the implications of this. These are the implications of this. Present the information before me. Let me decide if I'm going ahead or not. Not for you to say I have to. Then let's leave the spiritual authority. Let's come back to the person. If you as a person, decision of your life is being taken by so-called pastor, is the one influencing that decision, not you. Pastor can counsel you, but the decision to say yes or no is still yours. But if the pastor says this is what you must do, and if you don't do it, it become a war or become a problem, then you are in bondage. You are not free. You are in serious bondage. You are in serious bondage, and you must leave that kind of environment. Because if another human being has such an influence on you, he will manipulate you for himself. If there are cases where this pastor knows a lady, he has a lady, he wants this lady to marry, but because he likes the lady, maybe the lady is, I don't know, special interest in lady, he wants lady to marry a rich brother. And now here is a brother, and he's trying to manipulate the brother to marry the lady. Why? Because he knows the brother is rich, and he wants the lady to be able to marry that brother. But the brother is now aware of, he can come up with different prophecies. He can come up with, Paul said we see in part and prophesy in part. So people will come and say, God told them, God told them, God told them. Let God also tell you. I feel it's spiritual slavery if your major decision like this in your life is being influenced by a so-called spiritual authority. All right. Another?
Thank you, sir.
All right. Mark Eden. Is that Niyi? I think that's Niyi. Niyi, good evening.
Yes, good evening, sir.
How now?
Very fine, sir.
Long time.
Sorry, yes, it works out. It works. It's a ministry. Yeah, it's an interesting discussion. I think I came in very late. During the question and answer that I came in, but I listened to the question.
Okay, you just came in. Okay. Okay.
Yes, I came in like 10 minutes ago.
Ah.
But it's okay.
You go and listen to the recording.
I will listen. Yes, I will listen to the recording, sir.
Victor. Hello, Victor.
Good evening, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir, for today. Well, as I listened today, I was just more or less, let's say, surprised because I was shocked because even about this statistics generally.
Okay.
The statistics about the rate of divorce among the various religion, because when you brought to religion, because
thank you.
So
various religion. Various religion.
Yes. So I was surprised, like what is making the Buddhist and the Hindu have more successful marriage? Is there anything to learn from their own extremely low rates of divorce? Because it's like if you're having 1 in 100, that's almost like a perfect place. It shows that they are doing something right that maybe other religions, or what can we even learn as a person from what they do? Does their belief play any role in making their marriages successful? Is there anything to learn? What was the first thing that crossed my mind when I had the statistics. And talking about Nigeria, so I was wondering that in Nigeria, one of the major problems of Nigeria is that we don't have data. So I'm surprised I don't know how you came about the figures. So
I went online. To check people that have done research across the country. There are sociologists that have done research across the country on this.
Oh, okay. So again, when I look at statistics again, I'm a bit worried because if among Christians we have 40%, or even generally, the rate of like that, the paternity fraud itself was a shocker to me. Like 40% is a lot. That means if I take 10 of my colleagues, it's possible that some of us did not come from.
For every 10 marriages, 40% firstborn is owned by someone else, not the person that is not the person that the woman gave it to.
Wow. Well, I think it's quite shocking, and I don't know what we can do to reduce this rate, because it's almost like maybe
For paternity fraud, if what we discussed last week, people can live by it, we can reduce paternity fraud significantly, because you won't even have a moral relationship in the first place for that to happen. So we can significantly reduce that. But for the divorce, that one is lack of preparation, lack of readiness, lack of preparation, lack of readiness. Immaturity. Not having a good understanding of really the level of commitment required for me to be able to keep that relationship or marriage. It's a big issue.
Okay, sir. So when we discuss some of the reasons for divorce and separation, I think divorce in many of these relationships, you pointed out communication as a major issue.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering that maybe, because I feel like if communication is making their marriages crumble, was it not the same communication that made them come together in the first place? Or does it mean that there's a special?
That means you didn't understand communication. That's not communication. That one is attraction.
No, I feel like to the point that they agreed, but they know. I feel like I'm wondering, is it that there's a certain type of communication that is required in marriage?
Yes, of course. Of course. If you communicate well, you will not argue. If both of you understand communication, you will not argue. And if you look at that data, argument is a major issue. Unnecessary argument. So if you understand the fact that your action, your behavior, your words communicate, and if you have good emotional intelligence, you know when to say what you need to say to get the right result you need to get. You know when to avoid. And I gave an example of someone now. What's his name? Kiyosaki, one that read that poor dad. He said whenever he and the wife have an argument that lasts more than 30 minutes in the house, one of them will call their therapist. The therapist will come in and sort out the issue. So they make up their mind. We must avoid argument in this home. So they have a therapist they will call if argument lasts more than 30 minutes. Because they want to ensure there is communication. When there is fight, when there is discussion, when there is animosity, we can't communicate. We can't communicate. But we need that communication to sustain the relationship. You know?
Oh, okay. So you also mentioned, I want to say, like, when you look at some of the reasons again about talking about people not being committed, people not being ready, or I think is it not like listeners? I was not wondering, because I know at the beginning of this series you talk about some of the objective was that is for an individual to know when he or she is ready for marriage. So is it that there's another, like, at what point, or is there another session to discuss that? At what point can an individual say is ready? Because it's most like many at times it's lack of preparation.
We are going to discuss that. Let me check. I think
because
in another 2 or 3 episodes, when we talk about planning, what are the level of what are the things that will make you to know you are ready? So we're going to discuss preparation rather. Preparation.
Okay, because I was just wondering that even with this high rate of divorce and marital failure, is it that could it be that maybe marriage is never meant for everyone? Because maybe
that is very correct now. That is very correct. If there are more female than male in the world, that's a sign that marriage is not meant for everyone. That's very correct.
So is it that what do we do now? Is it that we ask ourselves, is there any yardstick we can use to say, or do we have any measure to state that, okay, maybe this thing is for me and not for me? How do someone know if it's really for you or not for you, so that we'll stop making the word?
We have gone through a lot in the last few weeks or months. If some of the things and commitment required that we have discussed are not things you can work with, then the marriage is not for you. If you cannot share your space, your time, your energy, your resources, marriage is not for you. It's not for you. So when you look at the level of commitment, if you say, sorry, I'm not sure I can do this. I really don't think I can do this. I have to wake up in the morning to cook for someone when I could have just decided to decide what I want to eat myself. I mean, there are a lot of commitment. Some carrying baby for 9 months, giving birth, taking care of baby. Some cannot stand it. So there's no point getting married.
And it's normal. It doesn't make them less of.
It doesn't make them, no. But a number of them is upbringing, environment. You know, we are born blank. The number of things we pick up is our environment, upbringing. Maybe they saw the way their neighbors suffer or their family suffer. See, there are some things you see in life that make you to not to want to do some things. If you have seen a marriage that had serious issue, domestic violence, some guys or ladies will not want to marry because they see the suffering. I don't want to go through that. So a lot of factors influence it and make the person to become who he has become that made him not to be fit for marriage. And it's better he doesn't go in, really, because that would make society better than if it didn't make society worse.
Yes, sir. So, okay, talking about like experiences in life. Okay, I was like, I think in the previous episode, you talked about people not having like about some wrong misconception that people have about someone that blames their ex or blames they blame the person they are with for the sins of their ex. About people because of having a bad relationship, and they have a certain kind of idea of who a man is or who a woman is by, you mentioned something about men are scum or men are scam in the previous episode.
Yeah.
So because I was discussing with a friend and she was like, I was telling, because I think he just like had more like he had like a breakup with the person that she was with, and it was like he's even tired of.
Who served the breakfast? Is it the one that served or the one that received?
No, okay. I think she realized that the guy is not being honest. Like there's something about his past that she did not tell her. So and it was like that means if, and someone from it was even a third party, someone else that was even giving her the update about what this guy has done in the past. And when she confronted him with it, he couldn't deny it. So it was more of like,
hold on,
a deal breaker.
Now I will come back to, I want us to digress a little. Don't forget your thought.
Oh, okay, sir.
That someone did not tell you his past does not mean he's hiding it. Maybe there are 5 things that happen in his area, a particular area of his life, and at the time he was telling you, you can only remember 2. He didn't even remember the others. It's possible. No, it might not be that he's hiding. I'm just going to say that the lady would have said, I heard this, and why didn't you tell me before? I said, I'm so sorry. I forgot. I didn't. I think, what I'm going to say is possible. He forgot. I don't know the gravity. I'm just creating that possibility. I don't know the gravity. So let's say, for example, if a guy if a lady have only one previous sexual partner, you can't say forget that he dated someone. But if a lady has dated 5, 10 guys, it's possible he forgot. It's possible. If it's 2 or 3, yes. Because if some are just very short time, maybe when he was in school or something. So I'm just talking about the fact that I'm trying to create a possibility that, so if you have a relationship with someone and you discuss a lot of things about past, and there's an area I have not spoken about, before you conclude that he doesn't want to tell you, try to confirm why he didn't say it, and then let him now say it himself afterwards. I don't know if I'm making sense.
Yes, I understand, but I think in this case, I don't think he forgot. It was more like he didn't know.
It's concealing it.
Yes, he didn't know I was going to break the information. More like he does not want to disappoint the person. Or
he does not know how to break the information.
Yes.
So that it won't appear disappointing the person.
Yes, so it won't appear the relationship. Yes.
Now, if this guy is withholding that information because he doesn't want to rock the boat, I feel that's a good intention. And that means he doesn't want to hurt this person. The only issue is for him he doesn't have the maturity to know how to present it. But for me, that's a good intention. I'm saying it's well intended. I don't want to hurt this person by talking about all this. But if the person now asks and insists, of course you should say it. But you let her know, I don't want to say it, but I have to say it because of this and this and this and this, and say it in a way. But if there's something I know, if I say this person will feel hurt, and it's not like if I don't say it, there are consequences. I'm just trying to talk about this, not telling me your part, not telling me your part, not telling me your part. If he's not able to say everything, not because he's hiding, if it's because, look, I don't want, okay, let's say if the guy have asked, then you should say, and find a way to say, and there's way you can prepare the ground. There's some things I've done, I really am not proud of myself. I really wish I didn't do it, but our great relationship, I feel it's good, I tell you. Prepare the ground so that when by the time you say it, it won't have a bad impact the way it should have had if you just drop it. Rather than, but if nobody ever asks, and I feel if I talk about it to hurt you, I feel it's well intended. Anyway, let's go back to your question. Go ahead.
But according to her, she was like, she asked because she was like, because I'm not even doing our chatting. It was like,
the guy be nice, okay.
Yeah, it's not as if she denied, but like I think she asked him, but maybe he just like he was being silent. Probably she asked him, maybe I don't know how it was on phone, but he didn't respond. So, or I don't even know why he lied. But it was like she asked about that particular issue, but she didn't get a response. So she was not getting to know about that stuff from another person. So, and she now confided with it, and the team went, I don't know. It went, so it was not like she cannot trust, like she doesn't think she can trust anybody again, because she was like,
you can't trust anybody, or you can't trust that guy.
Any man, no, because okay, when I try to like say that no, you cannot just judge one person, and like cannot use one person as a yardstick to judge everybody. It was like this is not about her. That she has a circle of friends, that she has friends, that she has seen this thing happen in a number of her friends, and now it happened to her again. So that means that having that having that notion about men may not be wrong, because it's almost like this thing is across. Like if
no. This person is he a science student?
No, not science. I think commercial. I think she read like I don't know.
Has he finished school?
Yes, he has done.
He has done research.
Definitely, yes. He has finished serving.
You can't, even if you have 1,000 friends, you cannot use that to judge men. It's not a significant number. Even if you have 1,000 men that have done that, it's not enough. So this is danger of what someone call the danger of generalization. Generalization. You have now, let me tell you, there is a software that is running your life that make you to choose a kind of friend. And unfortunately for you, because you choose a kind of friend that behave in a kind of way that make them to have a kind of experience that you also have. So you might find another lady in another set with a different set of assumption, a different set of philosophy and behavior, who will be among a kind of friend that never had this experience at all.
Wow. But what does that tell us now? How do we, is it that we should
give everybody a chance, avoid the error of generalization?
Because I'm thinking maybe it's the kind of person that you are that will attract a certain type of people to you. Maybe could that be the case?
That's exactly what I'm saying now. That's exactly what I'm saying now. That for her to have that all that kind of, let me give you an example. When I was on campus, I remember a guy. So I went to see some guys in the hostel. That was in Lut, and I was saying, all men are scum. So all ladies are all ladies are, none of them are decent. They are all dogs. As in just abusing lady because of what he knows about different. All of them have girlfriend, and none of them seems to have experienced that their girlfriends they're cheating on them. Now, here am I among another set of friends whom that thing they are saying is not even heard of. As in, you should not even hear it. So that you are able to keep yourself is normal. Among the kind of friend I have, is a norm. But among the kind of friend they have, that they cheat on themselves is normal. And we're in the same school, the same campus, the same department.
Mm.
We live in different worlds, even though we physically live in the same space.
Mm.
So it's just to avoid generalization generally. It's not a good way to live.
Oh, okay, sir.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much, everyone. See you next week and have a wonderful weekend. Bye-bye.